Tonight, major health concerns with lead levels on the rise again in Port Pirie, and the Kultana Army Base gears up for a battle round of specialised training.
From our 7 Spencer Gulf studios, your nightly news with Casey Treelaw begins now.
Good evening. Lead levels in Port Pirie are again on the rise, and it's raising alarm bells for SA Health about the recent reports. The amount of children with harmful levels of lead in their system has more than doubled since 2017.
Port Pirie's quarterly blood report is one of concern, with lead levels on the rise again.
In all indicators except for one, they've actually indicated an increased exposure to lead, and the only one which hasn't is our pregnant mothers.
The average lead levels in children's blood has increased by 4.5% since last year. The Environmental Protection Agency have partially attributed the rise to 2018 being the driest year for Port Pirie in more than a decade.
We've got high lead in air, and we've got this really dry and dusty period, so we would love some rain.
Locals have been patiently waiting for the transitioning period to yield positive results. Unfortunately, so far it's proven to be a double-edged sword. Last year saw both smelters operating simultaneously, with the 130-year-old smelter increasing lead levels in the air to the point where Nyrstar was a fraction off from breaching its operating licence. An increase in activity is all part of moving over to the cleaner plant, which is expected to lower lead emissions in the future.
The centre plant is now closed, so everything going well. The new TSL will be up and running, to my information, and therefore we won't have to have the centre plant going again.
The decommissioning of the old site, along with TLAP intensifying cleaning operations, is hoped to help lower levels.
I don't think we should be too alarmed about it. As we know, we're going through a transition period with the transformation of the smelter.
Dominic Beaton, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
Business Port Augusta has thrown its support behind local agribusiness Sundrop Farms after media reports the company is struggling financially. An article published last week also suggesting the solar-powered farm is on the brink of sale. Garth Burley has more.
Year-on-year losses of millions of dollars and concerns about the ongoing viability of the business. These are some of the claims facing Sundrop Farms in an article by The Advertiser. But Business Port Augusta says they've reached out to the company, who have put their fears to rest.
They've had a very successful 12-month period, the last 12 months, in fact one of their best 12 months since their operations have set up here in Port Augusta.
The article suggesting a sale of the company could be imminent, pointing to financial statements in 2016 and 17 in which the solar-powered farm posted year-on-year losses of a combined $3.86 million.
We don't believe that to be the full reflection and the full story of Sundrop Farms.
The site south of Port Augusta employs over 200 workers and has gained national and international acclaim for its sustainable methods of growing fruit and vegetables, producing solar-powered energy, as well as using desalinated seawater for irrigation.
And it's certainly shown some great successes here in Port Augusta, and I'm sure they'll continue those successes right throughout South Australia as well.
Now, we did reach out to Sundrop Farms for an interview, but it did not respond to our request.
Alleged Wallaroo siege gunman Jake Don't has been charged with 10 offences relating to the 25-year-old allegedly brandishing an imitation handgun at police officers July last year, resulting in a 2-day manhunt. He was also charged with attacking co-accused Ashley Ida Pfennig. Mr Don't was originally charged with 15 offences, including making threats to kill another person. The case has been adjourned for 14 weeks and will resume at the Adelaide Magistrates Court in June. The Barossa, York and Mid-North regions have been highlighted as the worst youth unemployment hotspots in the state. The regional figures show 15.3% of young people in the area are out of work.
Youth unemployment is on the rise, with an estimated 20,700 young people aged 15 to 24 unemployed in South Australia in December 2018, with the Mid-North and York Peninsula regions at the highest levels in the state.
has one of the worst youth unemployment rates in the country. We've got 15.3%.
Youth advocacy group The Brotherhood of St Lawrence is emphasising the importance of growing a localised economy.
The local employers are key to the solution for young people.
MP for Frome, Jeff Brock, believes the region's local sector is faltering due to people opting to buy online.
There's a lot of people that are actually buying online, and one of the things by buying online, and I've asked people why did they do that, and they say, oh look, it's $20, $30 cheaper.
Rowan Ramsey has queried the statistics, pointing out that figures include youth of schooling age.
I'm a bit surprised they include 15 to 25-year-old as an age bracket, because 15 and 16-year-olds are still supposed to be at school in South Australia.
The Australian Bureau of Statistics also include 1-hour work weeks as employment, making it difficult to ascertain a direct figure of youth who are also underemployed.
You can't look at unemployment alone. One of the big challenges in the modern economy is underemployment.
Today, the Marshall government announced an audacious target to triple the state's economic growth rate.
I'll be waiting very clearly for that opportunity to see what the Premier is going to do, and I encourage him to actually look at giving opportunities for the regional areas.
Dominic Beaton, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
The Broken Hill real estate market has seen an influx of rental properties as major projects are finishing up in the region. It's also a good time to buy a house, some listings selling for under $50,000.
It's a good time to buy and also rent.
We've got a good, strong kickstart to the start of the year, and we'll flow through for the rest of the year, and I think with good consistent sales.
Over the past 2 years, the Broken Hill rental market has been bare bones, with roofers, pipeline workers and wind farm makers all in town. Finding a place was a big challenge.
We didn't have any available properties. Broken Hill was full.
But now, as roofing companies start to move on and the major construction projects near completion, a number of rentals have come onto the market. There are now 88 homes up for lease around the Silver City. When it comes to selling and buying homes, Mr Halpin says there's been a good turnover of properties to start the year.
So we're getting a mixture of that higher end to lower end sales. Look, I think we're probably going to find the same volume of sales continue throughout the year.
The current median house price in the city is only $92,000. Many potential renovation projects for an investor handy with a hammer. Mr Halpin says one of the lowest he's ever sold was a $42,000 home on a 42-degree day.
The person that purchased that property has since renovated and rented and has a good tenant in there.
There are currently 225 properties for sale in Broken Hill. Patrick Ryanke, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
Still to come tonight, troops prepare for training at the Kultana Army Base and the headline act announced for the Unearth Festival. Hello again. The Kultana Army Base near Whyalla will soon host specialised army training for 3 weeks. From Saturday, units from the 1st Brigade will undertake exercises designed to prepare them for life on the front line.
From Saturday, the Army's back in town. Units from Darwin and Adelaide will spend 3 weeks on base undertaking live fire exercises. Commanding Officer Lieutenant Colonel John Holloway says it's a chance for soldiers to practice what they've learnt in the classroom.
We get out and practically exercise what we've been teaching them and really see what standard we're at prior to moving into that more complex activities.
Operation Predator's Walk will see the units engage with live ammunition, mortars and other explosive devices. They'll also be working with Air Force aircraft to simulate what's expected in combat operations.
They're real jets, but they're not dropping any real ammunition, and it's all just part of us understanding how to co-ord.
Whyalla and Port Augusta locals should be prepared to hear gunfire, explosions and heavy vehicles, but they're being assured none of it will occur near civilian populations.
A safety template that means no one in the civilian population is at any risk.
Lieutenant Colonel Holloway has praised the base for what it offers to training troops.
Being able to operate in that open and that undulating terrain, which is much different to what we experience when we go over to Queensland or other training areas.
John Hunt, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
Organisers of a Broken Hill Youth Development Program are encouraging more locals to become mentors. The initiative aims to help teenagers at a range of levels, from doing well at school to finding a job.
It's called the Youth Frontiers Mentoring Program.
They work with their mentor one-on-one for about 20 weeks over 2 school terms.
Youth Frontiers is for students aged 12 to 16 years old. The kids are partnered with a volunteer from the community to help them with setting and achieving their personal goals.
Could be anything from helping them with their assignments, getting them in on time, or it could be getting their first job, getting them some work experience in town, or even volunteering for a local organisation.
The program makes use of card and board games to help the kids to open up and start talking. 5 students were part of the program in its first year. Miss Weathersby says they all got something out of it.
One of our young girls fundraised for the Cancer Council, and she raised over $700 for part of the program, which was just amazing.
Organisers are encouraging more members of the community to donate an hour of their week to become a mentor in the program. An information session will be held at Headspace tomorrow night at 5 o'clock.
Mentors especially just found it really satisfactory to kind of meet with their mentees and see them engage with the community more.
Patrick Reinke, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
The first steps in organising a surf lifesaving club in Port Lincoln were discussed at a meeting in the coastal town last night. Organisers are calling on public interest to help kickstart the club.
The Surf Lifesaving Club set to make a return in Port Lincoln.
My vision and my goal is to bring it back to life again.
Alex's ambition for a surf lifesaving club sparked when he moved to Port Lincoln and noticed there were no lifeguards, taking it upon himself to start one for the town.
At the moment, I've been doing this for the last 3 months, so I've been doing it on my own, which is pretty hard, but it gets me out and about and meeting a lot of new people.
Last night, organisers held a public meet and greet to try and raise awareness and interest for the club. Surf Lifesaving offering anyone and everyone the ability to join in.
The mission of Surf Lifesaving is to save lives, but it's also to foster healthier lifestyles and a community spirit.
The club needs 9 people to join its committee to get the program up and running, and organisers are hoping the club will be ready for next summer.
It'll also provide an opportunity for leadership and to build skills, and it's a social opportunity as well.
Anyone who's interested is encouraged to get into contact on Facebook. Nathan Regter, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
Port Lincoln's Calypso Star Charters has won bronze for adventure tourism at the 2018 National Tourism Awards in Tasmania. The charter offers 2 of Australia's most exciting marine experiences, with shark cage diving and swimming with the sea lions. The awards announced at a gala dinner in Launceston last week.
We just hope to continue to grow and bring more people to Port Lincoln and spread the word so that the whole region prospers.
It was tough competition at the awards, with Calypso up against Tasmania's Roaring Forties kayaking and Uluru camel tours, but it was Western Australia's horizontal full seaplane adventure ultimately taking out gold. Multi-award-winning band Thirsty Merc has been announced as the headliner for Wyalla's Unearth Festival this Easter. It's one of 3 musical acts confirmed for the 2-day event, as council still pieces together the final lineup.
Thirsty Merc is just one of many reasons this year's Unearth Festival will be the biggest yet. The platinum-selling band has been confirmed as the headline act on Good Friday.
They have significant views on SoundCloud and Spotify downloading, and so they are very popular.
They're the first of 3 acts announced by Wyler Council. Neon Tetra, who shot to fame via Triple J's Unearthed, will also make the trip. Joining them is Adelaide's Abby Howlett, an electronic musician who's won numerous awards for her work.
Ego, emotion. They're very original, which is what we want to try to do with the exploration of identity and just different diversity in our musical programming.
Negotiations continue with other artists and will be announced in due course. Ms. Hume says Unearth's growing reputation is making the event's pitch easier.
People are really interested in it and they've heard about it, and it's getting a lot of talk in the industry.
John Hunt, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
Stay with us after the break. We'll take a look at the region's fuel prices and have all the weather details with Britt. Welcome back. Time now for Fuel Watch. Here's Patrick in Broken Hill.
The first week of March has been a tough one to predict. It's a mixed bag of prices at local Bowsers. Starting with unleaded, and as you can see, it's a topsy-turvy board. Port Lincoln is up by about 2 cents and now averages 1.36. Whyalla has gone down by about a cent. Port Augusta has gone up by about a cent. Port Pirie is paying 1.33, Kadina 1.30. Here in Broken Hill, we've seen a small change, but we're still paying around $1.40 a litre. Things are still looking good in the SA capital. Adelaide is averaging only 1.24. Taking a look at diesel now, and there's no green here. Whyalla, Port Augusta and Kadina have all gone up and are now averaging $1.46. Port Lincoln is 1 cent cheaper, Port Pirie 2 cents after seeing no movement this week. Broken Hill is paying the most at $1.52, while Adelaide joins Pirie on $1.44. Finishing off with a quick look at Autogas, and there's little to no movement. Port Lincoln has dropped a cent and is now paying 91 cents. Kadina is 10 cents cheaper after falling by 2. Adelaide is the only one to see red with a small increase. Everywhere else in the Spencer Gulf and here in Broken Hill is breaking even. Now remember, these prices are the regional averages and they do not reflect any one particular outlet. Be safe on the roads if you are travelling away over the long weekend, and if you do find a spot that does sell unleaded, diesel or auto gas for cheaper, be sure to let us know on our Facebook page.
And time to take a look at what's happening in the weather. Here's Britt.
Thanks, Casey. It's been a fine and partly cloudy day with cooler conditions around most parts. Port Augusta with a top of 23, Whyalla 22, Port Lincoln 19, Broken Hill 23, Port Pirie 24 and Adelaide 20. On the satellite, a ridge of high pressure keeping skies fairly clear, moving slowly over the next few days. On the Gulf waters tomorrow, easterly winds tending southeasterly at up to 15 knots, seas to 2.5 metres. The sun will rise at 7:11 with sunset due at 10 to 8. And tomorrow is looking slightly warmer, partly cloudy at Port Augusta 29, Whyalla 28, Port Lincoln 25, Coffin Bay 24, Woodnor 30, Corn 28, Broken Hill sunny and 26, Port Pirie 28, Clare 25, Cleve 27, Kadina and Adelaide both 26. And things will remain fairly consistent through to the weekend. Port Lincoln with a top of 26 degrees Friday, Saturday and Sunday. Cleve cloudy on Saturday, temperatures in the late 20s. Woodnor 32 on Friday. Whyalla with tops back in the 30s to end the week. Port Augusta 34 on Friday, Saturday 33, Kadina up to 30 degrees. Port Pirie 31 on Friday and Saturday, Clare 29 through the weekend, and Broken Hill maximums rising 34 Saturday and Sunday. And that's it for Wednesday's weather, Casey. Back to you.
Thanks for that, Britt. And that's the local news this Wednesday evening. Thanks for joining us. I'll have updates later. Until then, enjoy your evening. Good night.